Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Cinematic Trinity, where we talk movies, games and TV shows. And this week we are talking about Series 14 of Doctor Who. So let's get into it. So yes, the rather mixed bag, I'll go out and say, from the offset of Doctor Who, the newest series. We've obviously talked about the first two episodes, Space Babies and Devil's Cord, so go listen to that.
I forgot we did that.
Yeah, go listen to that if you haven't already.
Feels like ages ago.
Yeah, so we'll basically go in, so we're not going to go in detail about every episode, but we'll be giving our general thoughts and just how, as a whole, how did this season do? So
let's try and do like non-spoilery stuff. First, so I can give general
it's going to be a bit. Yeah, just go straight into it.
Spoilers ahead.
So yes, Kieran's back as well. Let's address that first.
Here, finally. Have you missed me?
We've missed you, Kieran.
Excellent news. That's all I need.
What did you think?
Yeah, Kieran, let's go with you.
We'll go with me first. What is there to think? I'm alright. So
don't say that you don't have an opinion, and don't say watch it and think for yourself.
Look, I mean, we've watched some of the older, not older, but some of our era of Doctor Who quite recently. So it's hard not to make a comparison. They are two very different beasts.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's it's hard not to make a comparison, but it's also quite hard to make a comparison. I understand where they're going with this series and why they're doing the things they're doing. I don't know if it lands quite the same as some of the moments did in like kind of the older series. Like they try and give Ncuti some kind of Doctor moments and like things where he's like, but you know that episode of David Tennant where it's like he puts the guys in there's like the four people and he puts one of them in a scarecrow. It's like that thing. It's like we realised the Doctor was being kind. That's why he didn't do anything. I didn't get there was a similar episode with the Bridgerton one. Yeah. Where the ending of that was kind of doing something similar, but it just really didn't.
It's not quite.
It didn't
the same.
hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just feel like Ncuti Gatwa is obviously a really good actor, and he does do the Doctor that they're writing very well. It's just not the Doctor that I necessarily want to see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not the Doctor you know and love, Kieran.
Exactly. I mean, I'm very David Tennant.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to say that he is very good.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all in the same boat, aren't we? When it comes to David Tennant.
And I do obviously Ncuti Gatwa is a really good actor, and so he's done a good job with what he has.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like you can only do so much as an actor. Like everything else has to come together as well. And some things have kind of come together, but not everything. It's not quite there. It's definitely not as good as some of those early seasons that we've been watching, like when we watched Christopher Eccleston series and some of the David Tennant and some of the stuff that's going on with what we're watching at the moment and with the Doctor and Donna. I just think, God, those episodes are just so good. Like I literally lap them up every single time and I want to watch them over and over and over again. Like I could literally watch all the Christopher Eccleston series again, even though we watched it just recently. But I can't ever imagine watching these episodes again. I can't, I just can't ever imagine watching them again. It has been a nice experience watching them these last few weeks. I've enjoyed that aspect of it. And there's been some episodes which have been fine, but it's not been
there's not been great episodes.
Amazing thing that really, whatever.
I don't think they've given Ncuti the opportunity to command the room kind of thing, because that's the thing with Eccleston and Tennant particularly, they could give a speech and they would put themselves in charge and they'll intimidate the monster kind of thing, whereas I don't really think Ncuti Gatwa got that. I mean, there's a few episodes where he's hardly in it just because of scheduling conflicts. I think it was him filming Sex Education, the final series, so they couldn't have him there. So you get episodes 73 Yards and then Dot and Bubble where he's not on location. They're kind of doing Zoom call kind of stuff. So
which is a shame.
Yeah, and then like the stuff again, if it's just the state of the writing, like the writing, some of the dialogue here doesn't work. So sometimes they'll give Shooty like a speech, like in the final episode, which we'll touch upon, but like they'll give him a speech and it kind of just falls flat because it's just the most generic, like I'm the good guy, you're the bad guy, see you later kind of thing. You know, it just doesn't. Which is a shame because he is really like that. Otherwise, he's really good. I like the. Obviously, they've kind of gone for a more like camp Doctor. They've gone for like I like the way he interacts with Ruby. Just like their friendship is really good. Like when they go to like locations and it's more him like focusing on just like the vibe of the place. It's not like oh look how historically significant it is. It's like oh look we're here dancing in the Bridgerton era or we're here in the '60s watching the Beatles. You know, stuff like that. I think is done very well. Like their relationship and like when he goes to unit and stuff and like interacts with all the people there. It's like. Oh, here he is, it's the Doctor, you know.
I was literally just thinking as you were talking there, first of all, I hate UNIT. Like, I hate the idea of, like, it literally, every time they're there and they're filming scenes there, I just think I don't want them to be here.
Like this iteration of UNIT.
I absolutely hate it, yeah, I don't like it. Do you think that there's too many people who, like, love and respect the Doctor? There's so many companions, there's so many, whatever her name, Kate is, with the blonde hair. There's so many people that come in and are like, oh my God, the Doctor's so fantastic. But it's like, where's the fight? Where's the drama? Where's the tension? Where's the toughness? You know, because even his companion, like Ruby, just like never questions anything that he does. She literally just is along for the ride and doesn't care and does whatever, like is at his whim, but not in a, you know, there's nothing there apart from like there's nothing, you know.
I get you.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not quite like he shows up a unit and just some guys that are like, oh, don't get all the fusses about.
Well, I know, like I don't mean that.
Come in here.
But people like you know.
But no,
like,
you get stuff like in the older series, like when they go to like Torchwood for the first time, and like the whole point of Torchwood was made in response to the Doctor being like a danger, and then like if he's not there to save the planet, kind of things. You do get like that. You know, get that like oh you're great and all, the Doctor, but. You're not here all the time, so therefore we have to do this for you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you'll get like Donna and that bites back at the Doctor with like some of his decisions. Martha like bites back, and they have this whole like, they kind of do it a bit in this with the like new companion comes along, they meet the old companion, and it's like who's this person? Oh, I used to travel with them. Oh, are you going to ditch me one day? Doesn't really happen with Ruby.
And
you get that with the other ones.
Ring to it,
it
just doesn't. All the things that they tried to do, which is similar to what they've done in other seasons, they've just done the similar things, but it hasn't like come off as well. A lot of the tropes, of
I think it's like a good jumping off point from that. What did you guys think about Ruby Sunday as like the Doctor's companion in this series?
I liked the relationship between the Doctor and Ruby. I think they had, especially because. What's the actress's name?
Millie Gibson.
Millie Gibson and Ncuti Gatwa. They have quite good chemistry, I feel.
Yeah.
So, when they're kind of like joking around and having like a fun time, like in the show, I feel like they are actually having a fun time personally as well. Agree. So I think that's good. She's let down a little bit by writing in terms of her story, and especially the overall arc of her story.
Yeah.
The kind of finishing bits of it, I wanted more.
Yeah,
it was a little bit underwhelming what the kind of result was. I do quite like Millie Gibson. I don't think she's as good as some of the old companions that we've had in prior seasons, but she was good for what she had.
Yeah. I do like her, and I do like their dynamic together. I do think they are very good, but I think that they were let down a lot by the writing. And I think I said the other day when we watched the finale and we were talking about it, I said that Russell T Davies and all the writers, like they've got so many more people that they need to please now. Like they've got our generation of Doctor Who fans who came in when Christopher Eccleston started, or around there. They've got the older Doctor Who fans and the people who like love all the old series and have been following it and are like real fans. They've got to approach the new people, young kids, like teenagers, Disney, American audiences. They've got so many people that they're trying to please. It's like they just need to pick a lane, pick who they're gonna. Are they gonna make a classic British show, or are they going to try and have it be this international thing? It's like when you try and make something like that, it never works. It has to just happen by accident.
Yeah.
And that's probably what happened with like the earlier seasons of Doctor Who. Like they probably weren't trying for it to reach an international audience. It just ended up doing that because it was so good. But it's not really like working here, I don't think. And I think that's a shame for everybody who's in it, because they are clearly very good. But they're just not got the material to work with and the story.
Yeah, I think my favourite interaction between like Ruby and the Doctor in the show was like the Devil's Chord episode, and it's like when they find out music's gone wrong, you know, and they're like listening to the band. It's kind of like Shooty's there like, and like she's just kind of there like patting him on the back kind of thing. I don't know why. That's the only interaction I know, because then again, because the Doctor's like hardly in it, like they don't get much time together, or they kind of go off and do the separate things.
It does honestly feel like he's not actually in it that much.
Yeah,
like there's so many, and it's like if they wanted to have him in it and there was scheduling conflicts, just wait. Like we already waited however long we waited from when they were filming it to now.
Yeah.
Just push it back a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You can still do your one episode where it's Millie Gibson leading the way in 73 yards. Still do that because it's relevant. Well, you know, it's relevant in quotes. It's not really relevant, but it apparently is relevant. But in a boring way. So they can still do that. But like the whole point is it's Doctor Who. Like we want to see the Doctor. He has to be the main part of it.
Yeah.
It's good when other people take the helm for like a few episodes and when they have like a really good story for themselves, like the companion. But like, you know, I want, especially when he's a brand new Doctor, like literally he's only just formed. They're rebooting the whole thing, and to have him never there.
I think but if they're doing like a reboot thing as well, it's kind of showing, sometimes the Doctor's here, sometimes he's not. Like you never know what you're gonna get. Some weeks, you know, you might get a.
I don't want that. I want to know what I'm gonna get.
But I mean, 73 yards is like a good talking point as like an episode as well, because like that was probably one of the more like divisive ones. Like again, one where like the fandom was talking, it was kind of split. Was that a good episode? Was it not a good episode? I know in terms of like our viewing experiences, like me and Tula watched it before you did, Kira, and we were like, watch it just out of curiosity to see what you think of this. Because me and Tula watched it like first like 20 minutes, really good. Like the setup is basically the Doctor gets like teleported away because they disturb this like fairy circle. Ruby's kind of there. She's being stalked by this woman who's 73 yards away. And she goes to like this Welsh town. She's like being stalked, so she goes to this pub. Really good bit of horror, like tensions through the roof. Like, what's going on here? And then it kind of like dwindles. Like there's a side plot with her overthrowing like a Welsh prime minister. Goes a bit awry, and then the ending happens where kind of comes full circle, and you find out the woman who's been stalking Ruby was an older version of Ruby, and then it's like a parallel.
Gets reset.
It's like a sort of parallel world
alternate
kind of
timeline.
But that's the thing, we're theorising there because it wasn't actually confirmed what happened. Cause
I really liked that episode literally right up until the last second where the reveal happened of what was going to happen and the fact that everything kind of resolved itself. And then I thought, what's the point in this?
Yeah.
And I always said, and I said it then, was if they come back to it and it's like all works out in the finale in a really good way, and it's like, this was what happened, and blah blah blah, then I'd be like, it's brilliant, that I will like let it go down as a really really good episode. But the way that they tied it in, I wasn't happy with.
Yeah, so Ruby's whole thing is, this woman who's 73 yards away, if anyone talks to her, whether it's like a family member of Ruby's, like a random person, they get scared off and like want nothing to do with Ruby. So that's like the whole like terror, what's the deal with this woman? Ruby goes and works for this guy called Roger Ap Gwilliam, who is basically the new like prime minister. The Doctor references him in like the beginning of the episode, saying this was like the most dangerous UK prime minister ever. So Ruby like knows about this because the Doctor said about it. So she's like, I'm gonna like go work for this guy, and then I'm gonna like, you know, scare him off with the woman, and then I've saved the world. Like, job done. He's no longer prime minister. So she does that. And then the episode ends with the reveal that it was actually old Ruby stalking her the whole time. Then it kind of ends. That's the end of the episode. And then in the finale, it comes back to when they're basically trying to figure out who Ruby's mum is. They're like, they get a transmission through on the TV screen, which is like a memory window into Ruby's, like, kind of Ruby's memories, I guess. But
also VCR of a random
VHS.
Yeah, so basically they get a clip up of this Prime Minister guy who Ruby, as far as she knows, because it never happened, the 73-yard storyline to her, no idea. So the clip comes up of this guy and he's like, oh yeah, we're going to do DNA profiling, so everyone has to log their DNA with the UK government, which then prompts the Doctor and that lot to be, oh, well, if they've done that, Ruby's mum's DNA must be on this list, so let's go to 2046 and find Ruby's mum. But that's it. That's how they tie it together, because you're basically there as like, oh, it's that guy from 73 Yards, even though like that storyline didn't happen in the context of this timeline, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, so basically the way that you've just explained it there justifies my point of it's stupid, basically, because what you just said there like was...
What did you sort of think about like how they kind of tied like back to that episode?
It wasn't good. I mean, I didn't necessarily mind the thing of them using the Prime Minister on the screen, and it only showed when Ruby was looking at
I
it.
think that is very good. Very good. And I was literally like, yes, how does this all tie in?
The supernatural element surrounding Ruby is all quite interesting. The fact that it snows whenever like certain things happen, it's really interesting. And then like they just didn't the payoff for that entire setup. The setup was good, the payoff was dreadful. It was just so bland. It was
So let's add some context to that, Michael. Do you want to try and explain, or should I try and explain what Ruby's arc is? I'll try and explain it. So basically Ruby's arc is Ruby was left at the church on Ruby Road when she was a baby, left by her mum, who was a hooded, cloaked figure, and we don't really know who her mum is. So the whole season, she's like, who's my mum, who's my mum, who's my mum, who's my mum? She doesn't know. We get to the second to last episode, they're trying to find who her mum is. That's why they're looking into the memory window, because there's CCTV of that night, they're trying to see her face, but it's a grainy footage. So, transpires that after all of that, with the fact that there's supernatural elements, every time she thinks about her mum, it snows. She's got a secret song within her that, exactly.
The Christmas song.
Yeah,
Twilight
the Christmas
Bells.
song, yes. That plays, that's her secret song, which came about when Maestro was there. But they go forward in time to try and get the list off this DNA database, but that doesn't work. They end up just coming back to Unit. And Unit just tells her that her mum is an ordinary person. And, she was 15 and she had to give her up. So she left her at the church. And, the reason why there's this supernatural element is because we thought that she was really important. So Ruby thought her mum was this really important, elusive, mysterious figure. Therefore, it created that, like, in time and in the supernatural sphere, I guess.
It's not. It's not. I don't think the snow element's really explained. To be honest, it kind of gets.
That's the thing. That's the only all we get is a sentence from Shooty Atwood of exposition saying. It's because we thought she was important, Ruby. It's because we've been thinking that she's so important. That's why the god couldn't see her. That's why such and such. That's why it kept so... Like, that is all we get. And it's like, I think it's lovely that her mum is just this ordinary person. And there's a really lovely scene where she goes to meet her mum. And that's honestly, like, really, really lovely. Like, I loved that. But why, like, make it this whole big thing? Like, if you're not going to do it where it's like, oh, her mum's actually, such and such a person, or like, what's the point? Like, or have another explanation for it, like, don't like have two things going. Like, she can still be ordinary but have another reason for all these other things to be happening. It's a red herring or something. Like,
it's just the execution of the twist doesn't work very well, because first off they make her like a cloaked figure, which is stupid, because it's like, what 15-year-old dumping their baby off at a church wears a freaking cloak to
literally
go do
like
the deed? And then when they're like trying to decipher it, so they look through this memory window in the 7th episode, so like the penultimate episode, to try and figure out who's Ruby's mum. We got this VHS tape, we'll try and see her face and see what's going on. It's like, oh no, we can't see her face because she's wearing this hood. And in the video, she turns around and points dramatically, and they think that she's pointing at the Doctor because the Doctor went back to that period in time. So she's like, oh, why is she pointing at the Doctor? Is she pointing at the TARDIS? What's going on here? And then it gets revealed that she dramatically pointed at the sign for Ruby Road.
When there's nobody else around.
Yeah, and they're like, oh my god, she was naming Ruby. That's why she's pointing at the sign. It's like, yeah, no one was there to see that. It's not like the priest poked his head out of the door to be like, oh, there's a baby here. What's going on? And then this woman's like...
Picks it up. Yeah. Ruby.
Yeah, just picks up, see this random woman going... the road, and then calls her. No, so that's stupid. It's like, who is this for? Yeah. Who is this for? So yeah, the executioner's like, why would you even do that? If you did a thing where she's not wearing a cloak, it's more like her face is like distorted by like the tape or whatever. So you kind of like.
I mean, it's easily done, isn't it? They wouldn't even need to explain it. The CCTV, it's poor. Yeah. That's it. They don't even need to explain it any more than that.
Yeah. Or like, but even because like. In the context of that scene, Sutek's there on the TARDIS, like maybe his presence there like interferes with the cameras or something, so you're like, oh, what's going on here?
But isn't his thing that he didn't know who
Yeah.
So they needed to obscure her face actually physically.
But it's just like, they could have done it in such a bet, like, for the sake of turning around to the audience being like, I guess we shouldn't look into things too much and give significance to these things. It's like, well, why are you giving it significance then?
Yeah.
This isn't like because I remember when like Star Wars first, like when Rey wasn't like Rey Palpatine, and everyone was like, oh, what happens if Rey's just like a normal person who's just got the Force? Like that's how Star Wars works. It's like anyone could be gifted with the Force, but it's like no. Then people got annoyed when they're like, great, now you're just making her important by saying, oh yeah, she's a Palpatine, she's related to the Emperor. It's like, that doesn't make any sense though. Like, people were mad with that because you gave this character significance when it could have been a really good, this person came from nothing and now they're saving the universe. Whereas Doctor Who has kind of done that, but in a really badly executed kind of way. Like, it's just, awful, like, reveal.
Yeah, it's just rubbish, isn't it? Like, it's such a shame. Like, all the other things that he's done, like Bad Wolf and the whole Turn Left thing.
And like the Master as well.
They're
and like,
so fantastic. Like, I just honestly, I love those seasons. I literally love them so much. And it's such a shame that he's tried to do it again, because clearly that's something that he likes to do.
I think they kind of bit off more than they could chew.
There's so many, like the way that we just tried to explain it there's so many different things to link back to and to think about. Whereas Bad Wolf, it's just, there's Bad Wolf all across the universe because Rose Tyler looked into the heart of the TARDIS. Simple, And I know the Turn Left thing is a little bit more, complicated. That's with Donna, where she's got the thing, you've got something on your back. The man says to her.
We haven't got to the episode yet, but she's got like the beetle on her back.
And it's because...
That's like a 73
you'll
yards.
Know. When we're watching it, you'll know.
That and like 73 yards are kind of similar, where it's like an alternate timeline, kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, like they are just so brilliant, and it's he's trying to do way too much, because there was the arch of Ruby and like who Ruby was and who her mum was. Also, this arc of, oh, he's coming. Oh, there's somebody really dangerous coming. Oh my God, who's it's gonna be? And it's this dog. Like I don't
it's just
care.
A dog.
I don't care just about this dog on the TARDIS that's deaf. Like this is literally like
not
so
deaf
boring.
as in it can't hear.
This stupid deaf dog.
Death. He brings death. Sutek.
And then Susan Twist as well, like who's
oh
this woman?
God, yes, of course, yes. There's this woman. Oh God, I actually I need to start this again because there's just too much to say. There's so
too many
arcs. It's like pick one. Like it could have just been they're trying to figure out who Ruby's mum is, or Susan Twist is always there. Who is she? Like pick one. Yeah. Let there be little things throughout the episodes. Like we could have found out who Ruby's mum was much earlier on. Like if you wanted it to be the Susan Twist thing, like, and and that is linked to Sutek at the end with the whole anagram thing, and it's like, oh God, it's so boring. Like anagrams, like oh my God, like,
it's not even a very good anagram.
I know, it's like Susan Triad
Technologies,
Company.
And then they just take out all those letters and go, Sutek.
Sutek. Yeah,
that's not how anagrams work.
Exactly.
They add the K as well for like it's the K Sutek, so it's not even like proper.
It's not CH. Oh, I know. It's just honestly, it's so ridiculous and stupid.
I didn't mind the kind of explanation they give for why Susan Twist is there, like that's kind of interesting in a way, because basically the big bad of the season, god, there's so much to cover in this, even though we're not going
we
episode
should have had
by
a bit
episode.
more of a like, you know,
It's all right. This is
whatever.
what our episodes do. We just ramble.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big bad of this series is Sutek, who was a fourth Doctor villain from like basically 50 years ago, who's been brought back into the reboot. So he's the big bad, and basically he latched himself onto the TARDIS when the fourth Doctor defeated him. So he's been on the TARDIS like this whole time, through years and years of Doctor Who.
Yeah, literally clinging on to
And basically,
the TARDIS.
every time the Doctor has landed on a planet since that, a version of Susan Twist or Susan Triad comes out and basically acts as like the envoy for Sutek, so the harbinger, so like the person who will like do his will when he finally comes about.
rises again.
Yeah, so like every planet the Doctor's visited, every timeline he's visited, there's a version of her there. So when in the penultimate episode, Sutek finally reveals himself and like gives his gift of death to the universe, basically Susan Triad blows some dust, and that's the dust of death.
But it's not just in that one timeline.
It's like everywhere,
in all timelines
yeah.
across the whole universe, because the Doctor's been to so many places. Like everywhere that he's been, everybody's dead basically.
Yeah.
Which I think is like a cool idea, and again I like that explanation. But I said to you on the day, and I don't know whether you would think this is stupid, Kieran, but do you not sometimes think that sometimes like enemies and villains, they're like too powerful, it just makes it boring? It's like when you can literally just blow some dust and everybody dies, it's like there's no running away or battle or like, and they literally just do the thing of like they're trying to shoot at it, and it's like, it's a demon dog attached to a TARDIS. Why do you think that you're going to shoot it and it's just going to die and that's going to be it? That's clearly not... Have you not learned anything through being part of UNIT? I just don't understand.
I guess you kind of got, just to play devil's advocate, you kind of, if you think about the Daleks, they are like an unstoppable force in a similar way. They don't quite have the scale of like mass destruction as quickly as Sutek has, but there's not really been like a single time where a Dalek has died through like kind of normal means.
It's like the episode Dalek, isn't it? Pretty much that sets up like if one Dalek gets out, we're screwed. Like everyone's gonna die.
Yeah,
So,
but that's fine. But I think the reason it's fine is because the Daleks have got such a backstory. And they have dialogue, and it's like this whole thing, and the Doctor is so scared of it. But that was the only thing that he was really scared of, but now he's scared of everything. They keep doing it where he's like, oh my god, this is too big a monster to fight, I can't fight him, I'm just going to run away. He was like that with Maestro, he was like that with Sutek. So it's just like, stop doing this. Like, I want it to be like, the Doctor is really, really scared here, and therefore I'm scared, you know.
I think you can do like big powerful enemies. It's basically just the solution to the problem needs to fit it. Whereas like, Daleks, it could be in Dalek, basically the Dalek just kills itself, so that's how they defeat that problem.
Yeah.
Or they'll like reroute some energy and blow up like an army of Daleks, or they'll like get Daleks to kill other Daleks. It's never like, we'll shoot it,
or
and
they
then
all
it'll
go into the void. And
it's like, there'll always be like
there has
a
to be
good
creative, as to what's happening.
Yeah, it's not just like, we'll get this big gun and then blow it up kind of thing. Because I know that can sometimes happen with Daleks, but that's never like the go-to. Get the Dalek gun and then we'll sort this out.
Yeah.
Because you can do like big powerful enemies. It's like, the Master as well, like it's his ego, that's like the thing of how you defeat the Master, or stuff like that. But yeah, whereas like Sutek, it's kind of like, here's this big god of death. He's not killing the Doctor and Ruby because he wants to find out who Ruby's mum is. So what does the Doctor do? Gets a big dog leash, straps into the TARDIS, and just drags him through the time vortex. So
he's dragging him through time so that he can cast his dust
that's
again,
the thing.
Which then brings everybody back. And it's like, where's the stakes? If literally every single person who's died in the series comes back, what is the point of us caring? Like, there is literally no point. Like, there's got to be stakes. There's got to be, sadness and whatever. And
I think, there's like no prior explanation to, if we do this, we will solve the problem. It's kind of they're just doing it, and then they're like, oh, well, death plus death must equal life then, because Sutek's like clawing at the sides of like, the time vortex, and it's undoing everything. So it's like, where?
Yeah.
What was like? Where would you like come to this conclusion? Like, oh yeah, this is just gonna fix everything. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't.
What did you think of that?
Yeah.
It didn't work. Like, as you say, you've got to have things that make sense. Like, if you think about finales that we've watched, the one with Rose where she stares into the heart of the TARDIS,
Yeah.
and then people do, like John Barrowman's character does come back, but now he can't die because
Yeah.
Rose there has to be kind of consequences to the resolution as well.
Yeah.
It can't just be everything's fixed, everything's fine.
Yeah.
There's no ramifications of what they're doing. Like, if everything can be reversed and fixed, then what's the point in anything happening to begin with?
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, I think they wasted, like, because they've been building up to this Sutek big bad thing since they did the one with Neil Patrick Harris, didn't they? Because he said something was coming. Maestro said something was coming. So they obviously have this agenda of doing, like, the gods now.
Yeah.
If they had that in mind with doing Toymaster, Maestro, Sutek, why not make Ruby's story more interesting and have maybe a different god? And like, maybe not that like Ruby's part god or whatever, but maybe brought her in as kind of like a harbinger of life. And then maybe that was like the counter to Sutek. I don't know, there's lots of different things they could have done.
One I just thought of, like, you could have done, rather than like Sutek wanting to find out who Ruby's mum was, you could have done him like deliberately keeping the mystery up, like, to be maybe that's what was keeping him like alive or something, was like the mystery, and then
He
it's
was just
like
enjoying messing with them.
and then then it could be like, oh wait, Ruby's mum is just an ordinary person, so he's like, oh no, the mystery's gone, I'm gonna like fade into non-existence anymore, like something like that, because then it could explain, it could give a good explanation as to why he's so invested, and maybe it's him causing the snow, maybe he's like, oh, it's the what's going on here, and then maybe he did like a perception filter thing and he made her look like she's wearing a cloak to again just like make it look like a bigger deal than it is, and it could be like, rather than them turning around to be like, see audience, you're a bunch of idiots for like thinking this, I'm going to be like, oh no, actually Sutek made us all think this, it's not just poor writing,
all been
and
brainwashed by
yeah.
this parasite that's been attached to all these years.
Yeah, or so making Ruby's thing actually come, and like maybe if it did make like her mum a god or something like that, it could be like, oh, Ruby brings her mum back into the world or whatever to defeat Sutek or something.
Or it doesn't even need to be her mum, it could have been her dad, it could have been, oh, we've been thinking about who her mum is this whole time, but actually her dad's, the god
Should
or
it have
whatever.
been
or...
Chloe Webber's dad, the one that she drew in the wardrobe in the Theatre episode, the one?
Oh yeah, where he starts coming out.
Yeah, he should have he should have come back into it. Yeah, my God.
What a season.
Yeah, what a mixed bag. Like, truly. Like, again, nothing like scaled the peaks of being, oh my God, this is on level with like David Tennant. Or, like,
nothing beats it. Nothing beats it. Absolutely.
What would you like, in terms of like what you think your favourite episode would be? What do you think you'd say?
Yeah, talk about positives for a minute.
I don't know. I was intrigued by Dot and Bubble.
Okay, yeah.
Because I thought it was interesting, and the twist at the end, I think there was, especially that bit where the twist just happened, there was really good acting from Ncuti and Millie. Because like, I think Millie's reaction was kind of quite similar to what anyone's, like any rational person's reaction would be. Like, she clearly gets like quite frustrated and angry and just like wants to walk off.
Yeah.
But then you have the Doctor and he's like, I'm not going to abandon everyone. Like, anyone, if you go out there, you're going to die. I don't care what you think of me.
Yeah.
Just let me help you live. And then like in their arrogance and everything, they obviously still say no, and you see like Millie comes back and she, you kind of get like a sense of admiration for the Doctor. And then it kind of turns to sadness, because it's like, you like kind of empathetic sadness, because you're like, this is dreadful, like kind of thing. So I think they do certain bits like that really well. And in that episode as well, I can't remember what the character's name was. I know her last name was like Pepper Bean or something.
Oh yeah, Lindy. Yeah.
So you have like glimpses of like her maybe not being mentally sound.
Yeah.
Of like when she meets like this idol person and she's like, oh my god, like I thought this was the worst day ever, but actually it's the best day ever.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, thousands of people are still being eaten right now, so maybe not the best day.
Yeah.
And then obviously she like gets him killed so that she can live as well. So
I was really shocked by that. Yeah, I didn't like it, but I liked the twist of that. Yeah, I did enjoy that.
So I think that had, you know, bits where it's like, okay, this is actually, you know, they can still write good twists and stories, and then you get things like the Space Babies ones, which I don't want to talk about again.
Awful.
But
I think, are we all agreeing that Space Babies was the worst episode?
Absolutely,
okay.
So terrible. Yeah.
I liked bits of the Bridgerton one, but maybe it's because it seemed like they were having a bit more fun with it.
Yeah.
And you know, if they're taking the Doctor, a lot of the Doctor things in this one have been a little bit more upbeat. I feel they're like Shooty brings a bit more upbeat to the vibe rather than kind of stoic and dark.
Yeah.
So I like the ones where they are having fun because that suits what they're going for.
Yeah.
Did you think that Shooty cried a bit too much?
Yes, I was thinking that in the last episode. I was like, every single one of the episodes I've seen with you now, you've cried at the end of it or in the middle of it or some point.
Yeah, there'll be a single tear. I was just, we
He's like me.
We did like a watch party with Logan when me and you watched it too. And we were just like, Shooty, no, keep it in, because he only cried like 3 times the last episode. But yeah, every time it's like he'll, you know. It's not seeing an emotional Doctor's fine, but it's like if you do it in every episode, you're kind of taking something away from making it feel worthwhile. Because in the final episode, particularly, like obviously he's kind of coming to terms with, oh my god, I've inadvertently killed all these people because I've landed on so many timelines, so many planets.
Yeah,
I've accidentally brought Sutek to all these different worlds. That's fine. But if it's going to be just random bits where it's like, oh, isn't this just sad? Oh, isn't, a single tear, stuff like that just doesn't seem to work. Or just stop giving him all these moments, because I think the whole point as well is meant to be, like, Shooty is like a more... Because like David Tennant's like Doctor before, the 14th Doctor was meant to be like, the lowest he's been. He's just like absolutely traumatised by all the years of like all these companions dying and like the Time War and stuff like that. He's all like basically got all this trauma still. So then Shooty's meant to be like, oh, I'm you from the future, but I'm like, I've healed. I've come to terms with what's happened. But you don't get that. It's more like he kind of keeps coming back to it.
They need to play on that like a lot more and mention it a lot more. Like he could like say... oh, well, I went through a bad time and then I did this and that, when he's trying to comfort somebody and just like little things like that. Like they really could have like emphasised that more, but they talked about it in the Christmas special or whatever. And then that was it, So.
Well, because you kind of got the scene as well in the final episode where they go to this random planet and he wants like a spoon, like to make the TARDIS work.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Yeah, he just goes and talks to this random woman. That's the thing with the finale. I feel like there's just too much talking and not a lot of like action or like anything really happening. Because he talks to a woman for about 5 minutes about, oh, universe has gone like gone awry. Your kid's dead. Isn't that sad? I'm going to take this spoon and I'm going to leave. But it's just like...
There's no context to it. It's like, how did he get to this planet? Who is this woman?
I thought that was going to be Ruby's mum. I thought it was going to be... He went to this alien planet, saw this woman, she's like, oh no, my baby's dead. And it would have been like a whole, oh, wouldn't you like to save your baby though? And like put her somewhere safe. And then he like takes her back in time and does something with that, But no, it's just a random alien like species on this planet he speaks to, and then that's it. But yeah, I think hopefully in like the next season it's not again like every episode he cries, because again, nothing wrong with it, just try and justify it a bit more.
I've seen like an interview with Bryan Cranston about like like similar along the lines of like crying within TV shows and films and stuff, and it's if the character within it cries, then they're kind of they're doing it for us, so we don't feel like we don't have that empathetic link to it.
Right, yeah.
But when you see them and they're like they're going through this tough time and you can see they're struggling but they're not crying, it like hits you a lot more.
How interesting.
And like if you actually like watch stuff and you see all these bad things happening to people in films, if they're kind of you know the consequences of that, and you can see them struggling, but they're not like kind of crying or emoting in that way, then it kind of grips you a lot more.
Yeah,
like
that's
emotionally.
so interesting.
I guess you're kind of there, like, come on, react, like, have a reaction.
It's like you can see like they're struggling and kind of trying to keep like a brave face kind of thing.
Yeah.
And because we know like what they've been through, it's kind of like a lot harder on us because they're not displaying that.
Yeah, but
So
if somebody's like, oh, I'm so annoyed, you don't tend to like get upset about it.
You don't have the same kind of...
Oh my god, that is literally the most interesting thing I've ever heard.
I think they should maybe kind of toy with that a little bit more.
Is that why I always cry in the older episodes? Because I literally keep crying when we're watching the old Doctor Who episodes, and David Tennant doesn't cry.
It also makes the times where people do cry and show
Yeah.
that emotion, it makes them a lot worse. Like the one with David Tennant where him and Rose... That's the time where you see David Tennant's Doctor crying.
Yeah.
And that hits a lot more because you know like the link they've had, everything they've been through, and then like it's just gone, and like even he knows there's no way of getting it back.
Yeah.
So
oh goodness me.
I guess you get like the inverse of that, like happiness as well, like when it's like full on happiness. Because I mean, it's like Christopher Eccleston when it's the just this once everyone lives. I always love that moment because it's kind of like you never really see him like really really happy, but then in that moment you're like, oh, you can tell this means a lot to him, kind of thing. Like this is really good. That was a good little tangent there. Good little media studies.
okay.
Yeah,
that's why I'm back.
We've missed
How
it.
many weeks did it take you to form that?
What was your favourite episode, Tulip?
Well, my favourite episode was Rogue, and I think that you all know that. Well,
The Bridgerton one.
Yeah, the Bridgerton one, essentially. But I think, I did really enjoy it, I think, and I really liked because the guy from Mindhunter is in it.
Jonathan Groff.
Yeah, he is in it. And
He was the king in Hamilton.
In Hamilton,
The musical.
Oh, right, I've never seen that.
Oh, he's quite funny, isn't it?
It's like Kieran's favourite musical. Hamilton.
Would you like it? Have you seen it?
Hamilton, yeah.
What, have you seen it in real life?
No, I want to. I almost went to see it when I went up to London, but I couldn't get tickets
Oh,
because I didn't look on the app I was on before 10 o'clock in the morning, which is when they give you the cheaper tickets. Because I kept forgetting, I always looked at 10:10. I was like, oh my god. What an idiot.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yes, but I really like him in Mindhunter, and I think that he was a really nice addition to this. And the Doctor was just in it more. Like I think I liked it because Ncuti Gatwa is in it more, and I do honestly really I think that he's really good, and I just liked the whole story. I like it when there's like a nice contained story. I think it just was its own episode. I know there was a lot of other things that kind of were there, but this was like the highlight for me. I liked all the dancing, and the monsters were a little bit weird, but I can forgive that. So that was probably my favourite. It's hard to say why, but I just did like the chemistry. I like the vibe, and I really like the chemistry between Ncuti Gatwa and what's his name from Mindhunter. I thought that he was really good in it, so I think that just elevated it for me.
Yeah.
What about you, babe?
I'd probably go because the writing in like every episode like again really falters in like points. I feel like the conclusion of like most of the episodes just wasn't very good. I couldn't say any of them like ended satisfyingly. I quite liked Boom, to be fair. I like thinking back on it. So that was the one written by Stephen Moffat.
Is that the Warzone one?
Yeah. I think it's like a central. Like again, the Doctor's still in the episode, but this is where he steps on a mine, and basically he has to stay still for the rest of the episode until they figure out how to stop the mine. But like the escalation stuff is like cool, and like basically he has to keep his heart rate and adrenaline low. But then like Ruby gets shot, and it's like oh my god, and like other stuff keeps happening, and like the resolution I don't like, with like the sort of child acting and the robot ghost
You
dad.
just really don't like.
I didn't like that
child
kid. I know
actors.
that child actor in particular. But I didn't like that element, and like the ghost dad kind of saving the day because it wasn't really anything to do with the main cast of characters. But like the twists, which again kind of felt very Stephen Moffat in a way of like, oh, here's these people fighting a war on this planet, but turns out you're not actually fighting a war against anything. This planet's completely barren. You've just made up like these enemies that are pure like paranoia and fear and also your ambulances are killing people to keep the war effort going on because that's what the company who makes the ambulances want to do. Like that was really, I liked that twist, and like
that was probably the best twist.
Yeah,
of all of
Yes.
them.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but yeah, just like the execution again, the ending kind of felt a bit like, oh, okay, it just drifted off a bit. But yeah, I think it could have been really strong if not for that final bit. You know? But yeah, I think that'd probably be mine.
Interesting.
Do you find it strange that in almost every episode Ruby ends up in a scenario where she like almost dies or is perceived as dead, so the doctor cries?
I thought the one in Bridgerton was a bit stupid because obviously he never like looks at the body to confirm it, and it's the whole I didn't like the psychic like earrings thing, like helping her fight off the alien. But
I didn't mind that.
yeah, it's a bit weird because I think that's like a weird editing choice because I remember like watching it back, like that scene, there's like the bit where she pretends to be like the alien and but she kind of like does the same like movements and like the sound effect plays, so you're like what?
Yeah, like the cricking of
the sort of bird like fluttering like wings thing plays. But yeah, she's kind of an idiot in that one. But yeah, I get
I did like that she tried to blend in.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was interesting and that was quite smart from her character.
Yeah.
But then she kind of kept it on for a bit too long when the doctor came into the room.
Yeah,
it should have been when
he
he
should
like
have been like, or like waved at him or something. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, because I mean, to be fair, that happens in the Bridgerton one. She gets shot in Boom. Maestro like has her up, basically tangled in like musical notes.
Puts her in a tuba as well, does she? No.
Cello.
Yeah. What else happens? To be fair, don't bubble. She's fine. They're kind of just outside the city. There's nothing really happens there.
Nothing really happens there.
No, I get you though. She kind of does keep putting herself into these scenarios.
Yeah, bless her.
And poor old doctor likes to have a little cry.
Bless him. He's a sensitive soul.
Surely she just break down crying, going, "Why do I keep doing this? Why don't I keep?
Why am I crying?"
yeah. Pull yourself together. Do you think it could be saved? Like, do you reckon? What lessons should they take from? But the problem is they've already filmed they've already partway through filming the second series. So it's not like they can be like,
so they can't really learn from anybody's feedback, can they?
They just need to make, like, if they want to do an overarching story, make it coherent, know how they're going to end it.
Yeah.
And vet it through different sources so they go, okay, that works, that doesn't.
Yeah.
They've got a team of writers there. They've got hundreds of episodes that they've made in the past. Look at the ones that are done well. Don't copy them, but understand why they did well.
Yeah.
And try and, try and do something that encapsulates the same feelings.
Yeah.
Don't make space babies.
Definitely not. That was honestly
so
awful.
And, if you're going to have Shooty be a more upbeat doctor, let him have fun with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the times when I enjoyed Shooty most is when I felt that he was having a good time doing the role.
Yeah.
Let him. He's a very charismatic actor.
Yeah.
Let him do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just, let him do his thing, and more people will enjoy it. And also try and find someone with the same chemistry that he has with Millie.
I think
that he needs like a male companion.
Well, I think the new one they're bringing in, because I think Millie Gibson's there for like a few episodes. I mean, the new one they're bringing in, I'm pretty sure she was the female soldier in Boom.
What, are they bringing her back?
I don't know if it's the same character. I think it's the same actress. Because Doctor Who's done that before. But I think that's
Capaldi and...
Peter Capaldi. I mean, to be fair, Karen Gillan was in the Pompeii episode, and then she was Amy Pond.
Very true.
I think whether it's the same person, I don't know, because she did technically live at the end of Boom, so I have no idea what the actress's name is. But I think that's who they're slotting in to be the Doctor's companion. So I think.
Thank you,
right.
Gilly.
What have you got to say? She's like slamming her hand down.
I have an opinion here. I like the dog at the end of the thing.
Do you like the devil dog?
Oh, bless her. I think, learn your lesson. I think just hopefully make it more episodes as well. Don't do 8 episodes, because that's one thing you're going to struggle with, is to make a tight story, or like you can't do too many things and like make it a short number of episodes. I think go back to 13. Hopefully Shooty has got like the scheduled to do that many episodes.
Yeah.
Don't do another 73 yards, or maybe if you do, factor it in well to the story. And you're right.
Yeah, I literally feel like I'm going to pass out. I'm so warm.
I wasn't sure if you were doing the actions of the woman from 73 Yards.
Yeah. I think there we go. For the sake of Tulip's well-being.
I need to stand up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what too much Doctor Who will do to someone. But in the meantime...
I've been Tulip.
But thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Cinematic Trinity, guys. In the meantime, I've been Michael.
I've been Kieran.
And Tulip's over there.